Okay, this is a quick close-up review of our 5-minute foot class. So I'm going to start with my little ball here on the inner arch of my foot. I'm pressing my body weight down on top of it and then releasing. And I'm going to do everything 3 times. So I'm at 2 and 3. And then I'm going to take the ball to the outer arch or outer border of my foot. And I'm pressing down. It's a little bit more challenging here. It's also why I'm on a mat for 3 and 2 and 1. And I'm only giving as much pressure as feels comfortable for me. So it varies from person to person. And then I'm going to take the ball right underneath my big toe, and you'll notice that it's right underneath that first knuckle, where we call this the metatarsal head, where the toe and the foot meet. And I'm going to roll the ball along that bone, or the muscles underneath that bone. And then I'm going to lift the foot up and then roll from that metatarsal head all the way back to the heel. I'm doing this one more time. And then I'm switching to the second toe. And you'll notice that as you push down into the ball and roll, it kind of feels like a massage of the foot. If it feels like it's too intense for you, then you should definitely take some pressure off of it. I'm going to the third toe now. And you'll notice that you can see the little knuckles come up underneath the pressure of the ball. So if you have a larger ball, it's a little more challenging to get into or deeper into the muscles of the foot. But it'll still work, something as large as a tennis ball. I just prefer something smaller to get a little deeper. And then I'm on the fourth toe. And I'm doing 3 repetitions. Because really this goes a long way. And as much as I love my feet, I don't really want to spend all day here. And 2 and 3. And now we're going to go back to that big toe, or the first metatarsal head, and almost like you're creating a little wave with your foot, you're going to start from that first toe and roll across all 5 metatarsal heads. And then lift the foot up and do that foot wave again all the way across. You can see the little knuckles starting to protrude through the top of the foot. Last one here. Good. And then we're going to take the ball right underneath the forefoot and press down, doming the toes over. And we're just pressing and releasing and pressing and releasing. I might not have put this in my live YouTube video, so this might be a little bonus move here. And then you're going to take the ball underneath your heel. And underneath your heel, you're going to just kind of scribble back and forth here. And the ball is working on that fatty pad of the heel, giving a nice little release there. We're going to do the same thing on the other foot. So once again, we're starting underneath that inner arch, pressing down, modulating how much pressure you get by determining how much weight feels comfortable for you to put into that ball. We're going to go to the outside of the foot now. And from here, pressing down. And it's very common to look down at your foot as you're doing this, but once you've gotten more practice with it, trust that your foot can find the ball and keep your gaze straight in front of you so that you can keep good posture with the rest of your body. All right, we're coming underneath the first metatarsal head. I'm pressing down, and then I'm rolling towards the heel. And then I'm releasing and pressing down again and rolling towards the back of the heel. And one more time here. Pressing down. So moving on to the second toe, as I continue to roll across the bottom of the foot, or across the length of it, I should say, this is similar to doing myofascial release on any other part of the body. And it's often something that we do in other parts of the body as a recovery or as prepping for activity. So if you're a hiker or a runner, this is actually a great thing to do before you go out for that activity, because it allows your muscles the muscles of your foot to do their job better. Gives you a little bit more flexibility in the foot and allows you to connect better with the earth beneath your feet. And we'll do one more here, then we'll go on to the pinky toe. And as we're loosening up the muscles of the foot, We also want to think about strengthening the feet. So once we're done with the ball, I'm going to give you a little exercise to do with a small towel or washcloth. You can really use anything made of fabric to do this next exercise. And now I'm going to go across the foot, so I'm taking the ball right underneath that first metatarsal head again. You can see that the knuckle's starting to protrude, and I'm rolling across the foot. And you might notice that on my foot, that second metatarsal head doesn't really do much. That's common for some people, and I'm working on trying to get it to move more fluidly within my foot. We all have things we can work on, right? Okay, and now I'm going to think about doming over the ball. So I'm pressing down, curling the toes over, and getting more movement through the forefoot. And now I'm going to take the ball to the heel. And I'm just scribbling around here. This is probably one of the easiest parts of this whole routine. This is a great thing to do first thing in the morning or in the evening, especially if you are somebody who stands on your feet a lot. All right, so we're going to put the ball to the side, and you'll see this cloth that I'm using. We're going to use our feet as hands. So just play with picking up the towel with your feet. And as you do so, you'll probably find that sometimes it works and sometimes you can't quite get a grasp. And for now, because this is kind of our basic class, I just want you to play with picking it up. And you might notice, if you can see both of my feet, that the toes of my left foot are also starting to clench like they want to help. So let's give them a chance to do some work too. And as you get better at this, it gets easier to get the same dexterity that you have in your hands and your feet. So if you're right-handed and you never use your left hand, you know how hard it is once you go to try to use it. Same is true with your feet. We keep them bound most of the time. They don't really know how to do their job any longer. So you can see sometimes I get the washcloth where I want it, sometimes I don't. But over time, it actually gets much easier. Our feet were made to be able to do things like this. So in the next video, part 2, we'll do some more advanced footwork once everyone's had some time just to play with things like trying to pick up the cloth. And you can see that my left foot does not do nearly as well as my right foot does. All right, have some fun out there, and we'll follow up with part 2 after you've had some practice.